On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, I tell you guys my top 5 places to hunt bourbon in Central Illinois. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today we have a little bit different of an episode. I'm going to tell you guys my top 5 stores to hunt bourbon in Central Illinois. All right, guys, 3 points before we get into our top 5 stores in Central Illinois. Point number 1, these stores are in no particular order. I haven't visited all the stores in Central Illinois, so if your store is not mentioned here and you want to share that store, please put it in the comments below. It will help your store manager, it will help your store owner. I know that it's weird in the bourbon world to share where you like to find bourbon because you think you're not going to be able to find it if everyone knows about your store, but we need to tell people about these good stores in our area. So if you have a good store and you want to help that manager, put it in the comments below. Again, I haven't been to all these stores, so these are my personal top 5 picks. Number 2, something I hear in the bourbon world all the time is to develop relationships with your managers and store owners. And that is true to a point, but it just doesn't sit with me well. I don't want to be nice to somebody with the expectation of something in return. I want to be nice to somebody with the expectation of nothing in return. So when I go into a store and I talk to a manager or an owner, I'm just being nice to them to be nice to them. I want to know how their family's doing. I want to know how their store's doing. I want to know how they're navigating this world during COVID, and I want to make sure that they're going to be able to make it through. I'm not just being nice to them in order for them to call me when a rare bourbon comes in. I think too many people do that, and I think it just gives an icky feeling to the whole bourbon customer, bourbon owner manager relationship. All right, tip number 3 is don't be a tater when you go into a liquor store. Don't always ask for the manager and ask them what's in the back. Do you have any Blantons? Do you have any Weller? Sometimes you just need to go into a store, buy beer, buy wine, and buy the good bourbon that they have on the shelves that's often 10 times better than what you're hunting if it's Blantons and Weller. There's so many good brands like Knob Creek, Wild Turkey, Remus. There's tons of stuff they're putting out on the shelves for you guys, and it really helps them if we shop and buy those things. So don't always go into a store and just ask for what's in back. Sometimes go in, just shop, see what they've got on the shelves, and buy what's on the shelves to help them out. All right, so now that you have your tips, let's get into these top 5 stores. The first one is actually 3 stores. They're kind of one category. It's the boutique category here in Champaign, Illinois. And there's 3 stores that I love to hit. They have a little bit less of a selection. Sometimes their prices might be a little higher, but they have unique inventory and the chance for unicorns is high. They actually put unicorns on their shelves. There's 3 stores in this number 5 spot. The first one is Gas Depot. If you're there, see Manish, he's the manager there. Wonderful selection. I found some bourbons I've never seen in any other store in Central Illinois there. Great store, and you would never guess it from the outside. Number 2 is Sunsinger. Sunsinger also smaller store, smaller selection, but I found things like Stag Junior sitting on the shelf for $50. And then the third kind of boutique store here in Champaign is Art Mart. Again, smaller selection, but I found Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, Stag Junior. Found a lot of really hard to find bourbons there just sitting on the shelves. So don't pass up these smaller stores. Sometimes their prices are a little higher, sometimes not. Sometimes they have good deals, but unique inventory and the probability of finding a unicorn is pretty good. All right, another one of my top places to hunt bourbon in Central Illinois is actually a bar. It is Collective Pour. Samir is the owner there. If you go to collectivepour.com, he doesn't have a big selection, but he offers the best prices that you will find anywhere. Really has some good prices and has some great, harder to find bourbons on his website. He also holds a break the bottle, not the bank. So if there's a expensive bottle that you've been wanting to try, but you don't want to spend the money on the bottle and you just want to taste it, you can attend those events. He also has a tasting the last Tuesday of every month. We've been to some bottle and bond tastings, some cask strength tastings that were really phenomenal, where you can try 7 to 9 bourbons for $30 to $40. All right, one of my next favorite places in Central Illinois is actually an hour south of me. If I'm driving an hour for bourbon, I love this place. It is A1 Liquors in Effingham, Illinois. Narav and his crew do such a fantastic job. They have a great selection, great prices. They will never rip you off. And the best thing about this store are the store picks. If you're looking for unique variations to bourbons that you love, this is the store to go to. They do so many store picks, about as many store picks as anyone I know in the area, and they're all really good. If you're looking for unique bourbons, unique variations to bourbons you love, hit up Narav and A1 Liquors, especially all you in Central Illinois that drive south to Southern Illinois and you're going down 57. Make the quick stop off the interstate to A1 Liquors. You will not be sorry. It is a fantastic store, one of my favorites. All right, number 2 on this list is a bigger chain store, but don't discount it. It is Bennies in Champaign. They have a lot of buying power. They're kind of like a Specs in Texas. So they have a ton of selection and really good prices, and also a ton of store picks. The other thing I love about them is I can find unicorns there. A lot of people get mad at Bennies because they hold some things back for VIP customers. I don't really get mad at that. It's fine. I used to get mad at it earlier in my career, but this is part of business. This is the way bourbon hunting goes. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it. Occasionally, they will put some unicorns in the glass case in the back. And if you're visiting the store other than Fridays, a lot of these people chase trucks and they're bombarding these stores every Friday. If you hit the stores on Tuesday or Wednesday, sometimes they'll put a rare bourbon on the shelf, and Bennies does that. I found some really good, hard to find bourbons on the shelf at Bennies. But even if they didn't do that, they have the best selection, great prices, and you can find some really unique bourbons in their glass case in the back. All right, and the last store on my favorite places to hunt bourbon in Central Illinois, it is Harvest Market in Central Illinois. They have a great selection, again, great prices, and this is my number 1 spot for finding unicorns. Yeah, I'm sharing that with you guys. That's how crazy I am. I'm sure this is gonna affect what I can find, but that's okay. I'm here for you guys. I wanna help you guys. If you're looking for unicorns, don't pass up Harvest Market. They actually have a case where they put hard to find stuff. I found Elijah Craig Barrel Proof for $50. I just found that like 2 weeks ago. I found Blom Brothers Nodder Bourbon finished in Madeira casks. I thought that was only a distillery release bourbon, and I found it on the shelves. I found Doc Swenson's there. Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered. If you're in my Patreon group, I do bourbon hunting trips. And they have seen me walk into a store and show what's on the shelves in the Patreon group. So it's just a remarkable store. Ray is the manager there. He does a really fantastic job. They have the biggest selection of Bardstown. If I went Discovery 3 or 4, or any of the Discovery series, that's the place I go to look for it first, because it's there and it's at a good price. Not a huge selection, but a good enough selection. And I found more unicorns at Harvest Market than any other store I visit. So don't pass that up here in Central Illinois. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I gave you my whole list. This is the route that I travel once a week to look for bourbon and find hard bourbons. And I don't bother the managers. I talk to them. I say hi, ask them how family is, I ask them how business is, but I don't ask them what's in back, hardly ever. I just, support their businesses. I'm nice to them with the expectation of nothing in return, because there is plenty of great stuff on the shelves. All right, guys, hope this helps you on your bourbon journey. Until next time, cheers.